Today marks Holocaust Remembrance Day. Find out how students are honoring the day.
And SU is mandating health insurance starting next year. Find out how this will affect you.
Plus, Wellness Week continued today with puppies on the quad. Find out what else you can expect.
All that and more coming up on Citrus TV News live at 6.
Good evening, I'm Max Darrow.
And I'm Amanda Hari. Today, students are honoring Holocaust Remembrance Day on the SU campus.
2015 marks 70 years after the end of World War II. Joining us now in studio is Amanda Shamus, who is founder and president of Syracuse Students for Israel. Amanda, what's happening on campus today for Holocaust Remembrance Day?
We're having a ceremony on the steps of Hendricks Chapel. I'm going to read off a speech that I wrote right after I came back from March of the Living, which is a program. I went to Poland and visited the concentration camps. So I'm going to read off a little excerpt of that speech, and then we're going to be lighting candles in honor of those who were perished in the Holocaust and reading off a list of names that were of those who were killed.
You started an organization here on campus, Syracuse University Students for Israel, I think it is. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
I did a gap year program in Israel. When I got back, I really wanted to keep on working on my passion for Israel and keep on having conversations and meeting Israelis and meeting just people that have the same values and passion that I do. And so since I didn't find that anywhere, I took the initiative and just started my own club. And we've had great events. We had a kickoff event on the quad with hummus and pita and falafel. And it was just a way that people were able to tell other people how they support Israel. We've had speakers come in. We've had opportunities for people to write letters for soldiers. We have soldiers coming in next week, straight from the IDF. It's just different opportunities for people to really express themselves.
So the event tonight is at Hendricks Chapel, and what kind of audience are you looking at tonight?
I think the Holocaust is something that a lot of people can relate to. I think a lot of people will be Jewish just because it's a program that comes from the Hillel Center. But everyone's welcome. That's why we're doing it on the quad. Anyone that can relate to or just is there for support.
And what time is this going to be?
At 7:30.
Great. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Today is the last day to vote in the Student Association elections. Votes can be cast for president, vice president, comptroller, and student representatives on MySlice. There's only one pair of candidates who appear on the ballot, and 4 other pairs are campaigning as write-ins. According to the vice chair of elections, at least 20% of students have voted.
Wellness Week continues today and through tomorrow with events all over campus in an effort to help students reduce stress. Today, CNY therapy dogs were on the quad for students to play with. Also on the quad were free massages and an inflatable bounce house. Syracuse University is mandating health insurance for new SU students starting next year. Citrus TV's Kyra Azado tells us more about the move and why the policy change is being made.
The plan does not affect any current students for the 2015-2016 school year. However, by the 2016-2017 school year, all students will be required to carry health insurance that meets the policy guidelines. Health insurance is required by federal law under the Affordable Care Act.
Health insurance is something that people use and should utilize. It's required by law now, and the plan that Syracuse University has selected looks like to be a very good plan.
According to the Director of Health Services, Benjamin Domingo, Syracuse is discontinuing its voluntary health insurance plan because it is expensive and fewer than 250 students signed up this year. Domingo believes all students should have affordable health insurance.
Medical costs are very, very expensive, and more importantly, they're unforeseen. And young people in particular don't think they're going to be sick, but I can't tell you how many personal cases I've seen of students that have had to drop out of school because of medical bills.
At the information session on the changes to the policy, faculty, staff, and students were able to write down and ask questions about the new Aetna plan. This gold-level insurance plan will cover 80% of expenses. There are no exclusions for pre-existing conditions.
I'm very, very excited and happy that Syracuse University students will have an option, and I say that word option because, again, they're not forced to buy our plan.
Students are able to keep their existing insurance plans as long as they go through the waiver process to prove they are covered. New students and transfer students will be able to begin the waiver process on May 6th. Kyra Azzato, CitrusTV News.
For more information on the plan, you can visit our website, citrustv.net.
Tickets are now on sale for the 5th annual SU Day at Citi Field on June 28th. To commemorate the 5th anniversary, 2 Setner School of Music students, Megan Murphy and Libby Weber, will perform the national anthem. Now for the actual game, the New York Mets are playing the Cincinnati Reds, and the game is set to start at 1:10 p.m. Ticket prices start at $25 for upper deck seating and go up to $60 for field level seats. Tickets can be purchased online.
SU is offering parking upgrades to faculty and staff for the summer of 2015. You can email ljoliver@syr.edu to be considered for an upgrade. Requests are offered on a first-come, first-served basis. The upgrade fee is $50 and limited to 3 garages: the Booth Garage, Irving Garage, and University Avenue Garage.
Whitman School of Management will host its 6th annual conference on Africa business and entrepreneurship from April 16th to April 18th. Participants from around the world will offer perspectives on Africa's budding marketplace and be able to meet and discuss their current work. Their mission is to facilitate partnerships between businesses in Central New York and countries in Africa.
This year's annual TEDx Syracuse University event will take place Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. in Watson Theater. The event, which is titled Evolve, will feature 9 speakers, including 2 SU students, who will deliver talks on a range of subjects. Citrus TV will have full coverage on the TEDx talks tomorrow at 6. And it was a sunny day for the Syracuse Chiefs home opening game at NBT Bank Stadium today. The Chiefs took on the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. Today is supposed to be the second warmest home opener since 2010, when it was 84 degrees. The Chiefs have been rained out twice in the past 10 years, but this year, temperatures were in the upper 60s for the first pitch. Louise Chenard will have a full recap of the game coming up in our sports block.
The Onondaga Nation School remains closed after security concerns about a fugitive believed to have a shotgun.
Onondaga Nation School students will continue to have classes at other schools.
Pre-kindergarten to 6th grade students will have class at Grimshaw Elementary, while 7th and 8th grade students will attend Lafayette Junior-Senior High School.
The Syracuse City School District is requesting another 12 officers to be assigned to its middle schools and elementary schools next fall.
However, police officials say they don't have enough cops to fill the request because retirements have cut the number of officers.
Last year, teachers pushed to restore funding for police officers in middle schools because of the high volume of disruptions and violence cited. And when we come back, a rhino is facing extinction. Find out what's being done to protect it.
But first, you're not the only one who can catch a cold. Why you should keep an eye on man's best friend.
Another one of the rare gorgeous days here in Syracuse. It's currently 70 degrees outside with a low of 52 degrees. As you can see behind me, there's a group of Syracuse students really making the most of that 70-degree day. Stay tuned for my full weather forecast after the break.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes
kids
you.
how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
A Texas teen with cystic fibrosis is not being allowed to walk the graduation platform with her class because she is missing one requirement. She has been battling the disease for most of her life and has spent much of high school working from home. The family asked if she could walk with her friends, but the school rejected it because of the requirement policy. Her mother has filed a complaint with the education department.
And make sure you keep an eye on man's best friend this week. A strain of canine flu has sickened nearly 1,000 dogs across 4 different states in the Midwest. Veterinarians say there have only been a few severe cases of this flu and remind pet owners to bring their pups to the vet if it's not feeling well. The flu can be spread when dogs greet each other and go nose to nose.
For the 3rd year in a row, citizens of Missouri are being challenged to get outside and get moving. The challenge comes from Governor Jay Nixon and started after the state was recognized for its parks and trails. Participants can track their progress and share their experience online. Since the challenge began, 20,000 people have logged more than 3 million miles. After 70 years, a haul of silver coins worth $50 million was lifted from the ocean floor. The coins were being transported on the SS City of Cairo in 1942 when they were attacked by a German U-boat. The wreckage was found in 2011 and the coins were recovered back in 2013. But the British government kept it secret until today. If you're looking to buy a piece of history, well, it's too late. The coins have already been melted and sold.
There's only one male northern white rhino left in the world, and conservationists in Kenya are keeping him under armed guard 24/7. The fate of the species is close to extinction due to poaching. Rhinos' ivory horns are extremely valuable in some cultures. Veterinarians are working hard to keep this subspecies alive by attempting to mate this rhino with 1 or 2 other female rhinos at the conservancy. A book on Islamophobia will be published from a Charlie Hebdo editor who was killed in January's terrorist attack in Paris. The editor finished his book 2 days before AQAP, an al-Qaeda affiliate, attacked and killed 11 people at the satirical French newspaper offices. He wrote in his book that Islamophobia is a form of racism and blamed the media for overusing the word in stories involving Muslims. Well, the sun was out today. A lot of people had the sun's out, guns out mentality today. It's a perfect day to play with the dogs on the quad.
But are we going to see some rain this weekend? We'll have to ask Jamie.
Well, Amanda, you're right. It has been a beautiful day today in Syracuse, but we are going to see some rain coming up. It's currently 70 degrees outside with a low of 52 degrees. As we move into the northeast, we can see a lot of those high temperatures, 60s, 70s, even 50s across the northeast. And as we are seeing our Doppler radar, we're seeing some rain moving into the Syracuse area, which we will be seeing later tonight. But our surface temperature shows it is pretty comfortable, not too much rain in our forecast. And tonight we'll see 60% chance of rain, occasional rain showers. Friday morning, we're seeing scattered thunderstorms in the morning, not too much to last. Tomorrow and the rest of the week, we are seeing high temperatures for the most part, a little bit of rain here and there. So Thursday, 70 degrees, Friday, 64, and the weekend, it'll be nice and sunny, so we can enjoy some of that warm weather before it's summertime.
So you said there was going to be some rain at the end of the weekend. What should we expect? Is it going to bring the temperatures down too?
Well, I don't think the temperatures are going to drop too much. On Monday, we are expecting some rain, so that's when it's going to drop to the 50s, but expect to see 60-degree temperatures, so break out your shorts if you haven't already.
All right, great. Thank you, Jamie.
Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6, we uncover some myths about cardio.
Plus, which airlines are getting more overhead storage? Stay with us.
coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
I think that CitrusTV is important because especially this year, Syracuse has been in the news so often, and we've often been there first to be able to cover that and really deliver it to the students.
CitrusTV News is for our campus and our students.
The great thing about Citrus is we allow students to tell their stories, and we get to listen to their concerns.
Citrus is important because we cover campus news in a way that no one else really does.
CitrusTV is the voice of Syracuse University, and it's something we're very proud of and a responsibility that we take very seriously.
Required vaccines will be held next week. California's state capitol to voice their opinions on the state's vaccine bill, which would get rid of the state's personal belief and exemption and require all kids to be vaccinated before January 1st, except those with medical conditions. And runners are rejoicing now that the weather is nice enough to go outdoors, but if you're only doing cardio, you might not be getting the results you want. While cardio will help you lose weight and build lean muscle, your legs still need weight training as well. You also don't need to work out for a full hour. Any time spent working out will help your body's metabolism and keep you in shape. Beechnut is recalling nearly 2,000 pounds of baby food because they might hold small pieces of glass. The company says one person suffered a minor injury. The affected flavors are the 4-ounce sweet potato and chicken produced on December 12th of last year. For a full refund, you can return it to the store where it was purchased.
If you're looking to stay in the Northeast after school, there is some good news. According to a study done by Trulia, there are some good deals on homes that have been on the market for a while. They found 60% of homes listed in February are still on the market in the U.S., and lower-priced homes sold faster than more expensive ones. 8 of the 10 top markets are in California. One of the slowest markets, just a few hours east in Albany. Boeing debuted larger overhead bins in Germany as part of an effort to make more room for passengers' belongings. The new bins can fit 6 bags instead of the current 4. They're designed for 737 planes. Delta and Alaska Airlines were the first airplanes to order them.
The Cannes Film Festival announced this year's lineup. Movies in competition include Mountains May Depart, Youth, and The Sea of Trees. Woody Allen will also have his movie Irrational Man shown, though it's not a part of the competition. The festival will take place in May. And Gisele Bündchen will not be walking on the runway again. She sashayed for the last time last night in Brazil after 20 years in the business. Among those attending was her husband, Patriots quarterback Tom Brady, but she is not retiring from modeling altogether and will still represent several major brands in photo shoots and events.
Coming up next with sports, the latest on the Chiefs home opener, NHL playoffs, and a major player is welcome back to the NFL.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Well, the Chiefs had a beautiful home opener this afternoon at 2. They took on the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Railroaders against the biggest home opening crowd since 2001. Now let's take a look. So they ended up winning 10-2 was the final score. Shortstop Nick Noonan went 1-4 with 1 RBI. And then, of course, Chiefs head pitcher Taylor Hill ended with a 1.42 ERA, and he took the win for that game. Now, let's move to the turf, where SU women's lacrosse topped Louisville 16-8 to close out ACC play this afternoon. Junior Kayla Traynor led the way with 5 goals for the Orange. Syracuse improved to 10-6 on the season, 3-4 in the ACC. Syracuse's final game of the regular season is this Sunday against Albany in the Carrier Dome. And big news from the NFL, the league has just announced that Vikings running back Adrian Peterson will be reinstated on Friday. Peterson was suspended in November after pleading no contest in a child abuse case. He was accused of beating his 4-year-old son. The Vikings stuck with Peterson through the trial, but his agent told AP last month he doesn't think it's the best fit for Peterson to stay with the team. But Minnesota has stayed firm in their position to keep the franchise's all-time leading rusher. And for the 3rd year in a row, by some stroke of the sports gods, the Brooklyn Nets have snuck back into the playoffs. With the win over the Magic last night and the Pacers' loss to the Grizzlies, the Nets take the 8th and final playoff spot in the East. Brooklyn will take on the number 1 seed at Atlanta this Sunday, but let's take a look at the game that got them there. So 8:43 in the 3rd quarter, the Magic up by 6. Andrew Nicholson takes a step but drains the big 3 with 2 left on the shot clock. 68-53 Magic. Now 9:01 in the 4th quarter. Magic only up by 1 at this point. Joe Johnson takes it past the defenders and up for a quick jumper. Nets take the lead and at this point the momentum. Next time we see Brooklyn, they're up by 10 with less than 2 minutes left. Lopez to Bogdanovich for a 3. It's 101-88, and that's the final score of the game. No one scores for the last 2 minutes. He would end with 28 points to help the Nets head back to the playoffs. Now in hockey, the Islanders haven't won a playoff series since 1993, but after a hot start to the series, this may be their year. First stop, Washington. Now it's just 6 minutes in with Islanders versus Capitals. Nelson with the shot over Holtby's left. He gets the Islanders going really early on. They're up 1-0. Second quarter face-off. We're all tied up here. Strome has a quick, smooth shot. So he takes it there right off the face-off. Capitals don't even seem ready for it. Islanders reclaim the lead, and, well, they wouldn't lose it. Later on in the quarter, Islanders back down to the Capitals' net. Holtby makes the initial save, but Josh Bailey will not give up. 3-1 Islanders. Later, they would score again on an empty net and would win 4-1. Game 2 of the series is tomorrow night at 7 in D.C. New York Rangers kick off their first playoff series tonight against the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Rangers claimed the number 1 seed in the Metropolitan Division with a 53-22-7 regular season record. The Rangers are led by goalie Lundqvist, who made his 93rd playoff start, tied for most in franchise history. He was the difference maker in Game 7 of last year's series against the Pens. The rivals play tonight at 7 in Madison Square Garden.
So, Louise, we're talking Adrian Peterson. He's going to be back in the league. What do you think the players' reaction will be, and frankly, social media reaction will be, to him joining the NFL again?
I think the players, most people will accept the NFL's decision. They're going to look to the NFL for guidance. However, even though they may be publicly in support, I don't see the public rallying behind him. I'm honestly surprised that it's actually Peterson's agent who doesn't want him to return to Minnesota rather than the Vikings. They're really excited to have him back. And again, you're balancing, he is their franchise leading rusher, but the publicity that brings, is it really going to be worth it?
And on a lighter note, my Brooklyn Nets, who are arguably one of the best teams in the NBA, made it to the playoffs for the third season in a row. What do you think their chances are of making it to the second round?
0. I'll come right out. I'm not a Nets fan, so I have no bias, or maybe I do have a bias since I have no interest in them, but, they're going up against the number 1 seed. They barely squeaked by anyway. They're going in with a losing record. I'm sorry. It's not happening.
So staying with the NBA then, I got a two-part for you. 1, who's your finals matchup? And 2, who's your MVP this year?
I have no clue for the finals matchup. I got nothing. I've been going in because I think this year is an upset season. I really see it. Again, don't think the Nets are going to be the ones to do it, but I don't think this is a season where you can really go, here are my final 2 teams. I'm going to run with it. But MVP?
I got Steph Curry as MVP, personally.
Oh, I like Steph Curry, but you know what? Unless he really pulls it out in the next, if he has a great playoffs, yes, MVP. But I'm hoping that we're going to have a late runner who will come through and take it.
The Nets. That's who it's going to be.
The Nets, exactly. The Nets will come back and take it.
MVP.
MVP for the Nets.
When we come back, an unusual national holiday.
Plus, a new beer from an unusual place. Stay with us.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Jimmy can't sing,
and Tommy can't dance,
so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Well, if you're a fan of Ben & Jerry's ice cream and are at least 21 years old, Ben & Jerry's has a new treat for you.
That's right. Ben & Jerry's is now in the beer industry. They're collaborating with Witt, Colorado's New Belgium brewery to make a salted caramel brownie brown ale.
Well, you have a birthday coming up in 2 weeks, so that's what you can have. I'll get you for that.
I don't know. I'll give it a try. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. I'm Max Darrow.
I'm Amanda Hari. Have a good night, Syracuse.